Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Anita Louise. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can see a new cool project every Thursday. So today I'm really excited because I'm making a dream catcher, a doily dream catcher. And I'm gonna be real with you guys right now. I think the idea of dream catchers is really cool, but I've never thought about hanging one in my house before because I don't know, I just haven't. And then all of a sudden I see all of these doily dream catchers on Pinterest and they are so gorgeous. And I'm thinking, why didn't I think of that? I love doilies. I'm like the doily lady, so it's kind of weird that I never pictured that you could put a doily in there. But anyway, so now I'm super excited and all about it, and I'm gonna make a beautiful one to hang in my office. So this project is pretty easy. Like, we don't really need that many crazy things. I did go out and buy a hoop from Joann Fabrics. This is a 14-inch hoop, so you need a hoop for this project. You also need a doily, and this doily I'm pretty excited about. Okay, so this doily I've had forever. My grandmother made it. One day while I was looking through her old vintage crochet books, I found the pattern that she used to make this doily. So, and it is from 1944. It is very vintage, so I'm going to link it down below and put it on my blog so that you guys can have the pattern too. So cool. This book is so old. Oh my gosh. But wow, I was really excited when I found that pattern. That's cool. I get excited when I see doilies and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have the book that has the pattern in it, even like if I'm at a vintage shop or something. So I don't know, maybe I'm weird. So we've got doily, hoop. The hoop needs to be a little bit bigger than your doily because when we stitch it all around, it looks kind of cool if you see the stitching around. Like, you don't want the doily to be bigger because it would wrap over your hoop, and that might look cool if you're going for that kind of a look, but I like to see like the edges of it. So if your doily is a tiny bit smaller or the exact same size of your hoop, that would be ideal. So hoop, doily, we're gonna need a little bit of thread or yarn and a needle for stitching your doily onto the hoop. We're also going to need a bunch of cool ribbons. I got some of these at the dollar store, at the Dollar Tree. If you have a Dollar Tree near you, they have really cool ribbons right now. I think they're like the spring colors. And of course, feathers. And for these, I just bought a pack of multicolored feathers at Joann Fabrics and just pulled out the colors that are gonna match my office for my dream catcher. All right, so let's get started. Ooh, one last thing, glue gun. So yeah, you guys ready? Let's get started. So we've got our hoop here. This is a craft hoop. It's $3.50 at Joann's. Some people use embroidery hoops, so those are cool too. I just liked that this was like round and thin around the edges, and I think it's gonna look really pretty. So that is the one I chose. The only thing about it is it's gold, and we're going to wrap it in something to make it look a little prettier. So I'm actually going to use this stuff. This is Flexi Hem Tape. It's like the little lace stuff. You can use any lace that you want though. You could use like any spool of lace or anything you want to wrap it. You could even probably wrap it in like yarn or something like that if you wanted to, or you could just not wrap it and leave your hoop gold and sparkly. I thought about doing that because I have a lot of gold in my office, so it might look kind of pretty, but I think the white lace is going to be real pretty. So to get started, I'm going to take just the tiniest little dot of my glue right there, and then add my Flexi bias tape, whatchamacallit stuff, to it. And just let that cool for a minute. All right, and then I'm just going to wrap it all around. Wrap, 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 wrap. With this too, since it's lace, because you could use ribbon if you wanted to, but since it's lace, I think like some of the gold will show through, and I think that'd be kind of pretty. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit here so that you guys don't have to watch me wrap this entire thing because it's gonna take a minute. So I will meet you over here when I'm all finished. All right, so I'm all the way to the other side wrapped around, and it took me about 2.5 yards of this lacy stuff to get all the way around my 14-inch hoop. And I'm just going to add a dot of glue here. just a little dot. You do not need a lot at all. And just hold that there for the glue to dry just a little bit. And then we can take our scissors and just snip that right off. There we go. And then, yeah, just toss that to the side. We don't need it. All right, so our hoop is covered. I like the way it looks because you can still see the tiniest bit of gold sparkle through it, which is really cool. It's gonna match my office perfectly. So next, we are going to be attaching our doily into our hoop. So to do that, we are just going to lay it down, and we need our needle and thread. Now, if I had made this doily myself, I would use the same crochet cotton that I used to crochet it. I'd use the same stuff to stitch it to my hoop. But since I didn't make this one, Granny did, I have no idea what crochet cotton she used. So I'm just using a thread that is pretty much the same exact color, like it looks just like it. So, oh, hello. So I'm just going to snip that. Now I'm going to take this thread and I'm going to tie it. I'm actually going to tie it in the same place where the glue spot is so that all my yucky, ugly parts that I want to cover are going to be together, because we're going to cover those at the end when we put all of our cool ribbons on. So I'm just taking my thread and I'm going to tie a little knot to secure it to my hoop. Just like that. There we go. Now I'm going to run my yarn through one of the ends of my doily. And what I'm going to be doing is going through the doily, then around the hoop, then through the doily and around the hoop, and through the doily and around, all the way around until we've secured it on all of the edges. And since I have like scallops on my doily, I'm going to go through the doily where a scallop is, then around the hoop, and then through the doily where the little low part to the scallop is. So through the hills and the valleys there. All right, and all the way around. Let's see if I can hold it up and kind of give you guys a close-up. So I've got it secured to my hoop, and I'm going to go through one of the scallops of my doily. And then I'm going to wrap it around the hoop and then come back through one of the valleys. There we go. And then I'm going to go around the hoop and then through one of the scallops and then around the hoop and then through one of the valleys. You guys got what I'm doing? It's a little tricky to hold it up and show you guys at the same time. Think I got it though. All right, there we go. And I'm just going to continue that all the way around so that the doily is attached all the way around on all sides. So around the hoop again and through a scallop and around the hoop and through a valley. This doily, again, I've had it for a while. It was my something that my grandmother made. And but if you, well, I'm going to link the pattern down below if you want to make this exact doily. I love it because it has the flowers around the edges, and I just thought that was a really, really cool touch to a dream catcher to add some roses to it. So I will link this pattern, but if you wanted to make your own doily, you could make anything you want, like any really beautiful vintage doily. And just measure it, and when you go to the craft store to get your hoop, you just want to make sure that your hoop is a little bit bigger than the doily so that you can see these cool like attaching threads along the edge. You could even, if you wanted to, maybe use a contrasting colored thread if you wanted to make that like one of your accents. But I kind of want the ribbon and the feathers to be my cool accent, so I'm going to make this the same color. Alright guys, so we're just going to continue that all the way around, and then I'll meet you at the beginning. Alright, so I'm almost all the way back at the beginning. I have one more little valley to run through. And there we go. And our doily is all the way attached on all sides. So I've got my string back to the beginning. I'm just going to run through the very first scallop that we went through, And then I'm going to cut my thread, and I'm going to tie my thread to the beginning end so it's nice and secure. All right, there we go. Yay. All right. So once that is all stitched into place, now we get to do the really fun stuff, the stuff that makes the dream catcher look so beautiful. So grab all of your beautiful ribbon, and we can get started with attaching it to the bottom of our Doily Dream Catcher. So take a look at your dream catcher and see where that spot is with all the glue and yucky stuff, because that is going to be the bottom of our dream catcher so that it gets covered up with the ribbons that we're going to hang on it. So I'm going to show you how I attach my ribbons. So grab the first color you want, and I think I'm going to start with this blue here. So I have 3 yards here. And you can make your little streamers on the bottom of your dream catcher as long or as short as you want them. So what I'm going to do is take my 3 yards of ribbon, and I'm going to cut it in half like that. So now I have 2 1.5 yard pieces. I'm going to fold one of them in half. So then I've got, okay, a little fold there. Now I'm going to take the top fold and again find that bottom piece here. I'm going to try to make my colors kind of symmetrical. So I'm going to take my top of my fold where my loop is, and I'm going to push it towards the back, loop it through, and then through this hoop I'm going to grab the tail end of my ribbons and pull it on through, just like that. And that gives us a really pretty little loop. Isn't this ribbon pretty? This is some of the ribbon I got at the dollar store. Go Dollar Tree. Very nice. $1 for 3 yards. That's pretty sweet. Okay, so that is our first bit of ribbon. So I'm going to put another one just like this right under this scallop over here. So I'm going to take my 1.5 yards, fold it in half. I'm going to push the loop through the back, and then through the loop I'm going to grab this tail and pull it on through. And there we go. Now we've got 2 on. Okay, so I'm just going to continue on down, filling in the rest of this with ribbon. And yeah, I just got an assortment of different ribbons, so I'm just going to play around and see what looks pretty. I've also got some white lace and some pink lace. Pretty. So I'm just going to play around with doing all different colors, maybe even some darker pink, who knows, to make my tail look really pretty. And then I'll kind of fast forward it so that you guys can watch, but you don't have to spend 3 hours with me while I decide where my colors go, because I think I'm going to be a little particular with my symmetry here. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Okay, can you guys see the bottom? Ooh, love it. Okay. Okay guys, so I have moved our Doily Dream Catcher to a different wall in my office so you can have a full view of it, so we can trim it up and start adding feathers. So we have the outside thingies, ribbons that are the shortest, and then my very center one will be the longest. So everything in between will just kind of V down to make it kind of a rounded or a V shape, because I like it when they're a little bit longer in the middle. I think it looks really pretty. So I'm just gonna start snipping away here. shorter on the outside, longer towards the middle. And now we get to get all of our pretty feathers and decorate. I'm just gonna kind of randomly glue feathers sort of all over, mainly towards the bottom though, so that the ends of our ribbons are pretty and feathery. So let's get started with our trusty glue gun. All right, so I'm really liking how it's looking, but you know, I noticed it's like very pastel and light. I want to add some dark pink to it. So I'm going to add it in and then trim my ribbons so that they go along with my V pattern. I'm just gonna go ahead and add those in. All right, it's looking pretty cool. I am going to, let's see, I need to bring this down a little so I can reach it. All right, now for some more fun with feathers. I really love the little feathers that are all like wild and crazy and scraggly looking. And I'm gonna kind of weave them throughout the doily. And this is another great project for a doily that is a little bit stained or torn or something like that, because you can cover it up with the little feathers. And this one actually does have a couple of little stains in it. So I'm just going to put feathers in those imperfections. And just a note, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm not putting any glue on the actual doily itself, since this is one that my Grammy made, and I know she would be super uber excited to see how pretty her doily looks. But at some point, since I like to change the decor of my office and house like fairly regularly, there will come a day where I just don't want a doily hanging up here as a dream catcher anymore. So I will probably just take scissors, snip the threads that are connecting the doily to my hoop, and then I can use it as a doily again. So, in case you're wondering, but if it's a doily that you just bought at the craft store or one that you made and you know you can make a bunch more, then go ahead and glue your feathers to it if you'd like to. But I'm just going to put mine through the doily and kind of intertwine it and not put any glue on it. And once you've got your dream catcher just how you like it, we have one last finishing touch, and that is the little piece of ribbon that we're going to use to hang it. So, I think I'm gonna go with the pale pink. And for this, you are simply going to take your little piece of ribbon and wrap it through your dream catcher like so, and just tie a little knot. And now you have a cute little ribbon to hang it up with too. And that is it. That is our finished dream catcher. Doily Dream Catcher, beautiful. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial for my version of a Doily Dream Catcher. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more fun projects, go ahead and hit subscribe and you'll see a new project every Thursday. Bye. Really? Word of caution, keep your coffee cup not right directly in the line of fire with all your ribbons.